Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Now the lunch break is over. Welcome you all to our interesting session again. The heartbeats have gone up and everyone is eager to sink into the depths of machine learning. Then what we are waiting for? Let's move towards the next topic, which is case studies of artificial intelligence and machine learning. To give us some idea about this topic, we have with us a man of outstanding personality, Professor Sanjay Kumar Panda, who is a renowned professor having vast experience in the field of computer science and engineering. He is currently working at NIT Warangal. He is a PhD holder in CSE from one of the premier and acknowledged institute, IIT Dhanbad, and has done MTech in CSE from NIT Rourkela, which is also one of the popular institutes of Odisha. We are delighted to have his kind presence with us today. Now I'll request him to begin his presentation and amuse our eager brains with the magic of science. Please, sir.
Thank you very much, Subhasri madam. So let me share my screen first. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, good afternoon to all the participants. Welcome to this session. So before we start this session, let me thank a couple of people. First, I would like to thank Professor C.R. Tripathi, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of BPUT Rourkela, and Professor P.K. Patra sir, Principal, CET Bhubaneswar, Professor Jibitas Mishra sir, Head of the Department of Computer Science and Application, CET Bhubaneswar, Professor Devasis Gontia sir, Coordinator of this FDP, Professor Manjit Kumar Naik sir, Co-Coordinator of this FDP, and all the faculty members of CET Bhubaneswar, all the staffs of CET Bhubaneswar, and all the student coordinator, to those who are involved in this FDP, to give me an opportunity to speak about the case study of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So in the next 2-hour lecture, we are going to see one of the case study that is related to artificial intelligence, or you can say machine learning, or you can also say it is a case study of the recent trend like data science. So in fact, this case study requires merging up these three technology. One is machine learning, AI, and third one is your data science. So the main case study which I want to focus in this 2-hour lecture is regarding the recommender system. So I'll tell the very basics of the recommender system to the to one of the activity, from the fundamental aspect to the one of the activity regarding this recommender system. So we'll see how we can design a recommender system and how we are going to evaluate the recommender system in this 2 hours lecture. So come to the very basic introduction. If you see, if somebody will ask you what is a recommender system, so if you split this word, one is called recommender, second one is called a system. So whenever this term we are usually use when a student is applying for some job position or applying MS PhD abroad, the student requests to a particular faculty member to write a recommendation letter which focus on the student strength and weakness and students outstanding achievement as well. So this recommendation letter is going to be used by the institute where the particular student is applying, and they can look into these recommendations because this recommendation is belongs to a particular professor or a person who is recommending. So by looking into that, they see the performance of the student. So there we are using this word that is called as a recommendation, right? So we call that as a recommendation letter or letter of recommendation, LOR. So here also we want to design some kind of recommendation system, although I will focus only in the online shopping perspective, but it is not limited to online shopping perspective. You may generalize to your respective domain. Whatsoever area you are interested to work, or whatever area you are working in, that area you can use this artificial intelligence technique or machine learning technique or data science technique to build a recommender system. It is not restricted to only online shopping, but as a case study, I will tell only in with focus on the online shopping. So that we will discuss in the very first, what is the introduction of the recommendation system. Then I'll tell you about different types of recommender system, in which you will see what is the input, because based upon the input you have to go for a particular type of recommendation. So if a particular data is not available as an input, then machine cannot process it, right? The type of data is very much important. So based upon what kind of data available in a particular system, we can suggest what kind of recommendation system best suitable for that particular scenario, that we are going to see. Again, whenever we are saying types of recommendation system, the types is based upon a particular category, right? If you focus on a particular category, the type may be 3 types. If you focus on other category, it may be different type. So with respect to different category, we are going to see what are the different types of recommendation system and how this recommendation system is going to help us to recommend a particular item. Then I'll tell you about how to build a particular recommender system. You can also see that there are so many recommendation systems are also exist, and we'll see how we are going to build a simple recommendation system in this lecture. And then the main important part is, if we design a particular recommender system, then how we are going to evaluate that recommendation system, because some of the recommendation systems are already there, and now we want to build a new recommendation system. Then we have to compare our recommendation system with the existing recommendation system. Okay. So which we called in the machine learning term as accuracy. What is the accuracy of the recommendation system? So we want to find the accuracy of both the system. If accuracy is better in our newly designed model, definitely that is better than the existing algorithm. Followed by the conclusion and references. So these are the agenda for the next 2-hour lecture. So come to the very first definition. What is a recommender system? So if you go through this particular research area, then you can see different types of synonyms are used by various authors as well as the researcher. Like here you can see I have given 2 bin. One bin I have written recommender or recommendation. In another bin I mentioned that is system or platform or engine. So you can use one from first bin and another from the next bin. Some people are saying recommender system, some people are saying recommendation system, some people are saying recommendation engine, and like that you can make any combinations, right? You can take from one word from here, one word from the second bin. So both are all are the same, they are having the same meaning, but we are using interchangeably. So the first definition of recommendation system says that it is a class of information filtering system. Like if you consider the very popular social media platform, let us discuss about the Facebook. If I ask you that how many users are there in Facebook, it is a very huge number, right? And each and every person is having so many friends, they are involved in so many groups, they are commenting in so many posts, they are liking various posts. So it is a very, very complex network, right? So whenever we do some kind of analysis with respect to the Facebook data, or you go for the Twitter data, where number of users are very, very high, so you have to filter that information. It is practically not possible to go for all possible number of users, all the users, and see their characteristics. Based upon that, you are going to build a particular model. So it is not practically possible, right? So what we are going to do, we have to choose a subclass for that. If it is a class, then it is a subclass. Like in a class, suppose a class of 100 students are there. You are giving a particular lecture to these 100 students. And after the end of the class, you randomly picked 5 students. In the last 5 minutes, you asked these 5 students, what is the means how was that particular class. So based upon 5 students feedback, you are consolidating that feedback and saying that this is my average. So you have not taken the average of all the 100 students, rather than you have taken you have concentrated only on the 5 students feedback, and based upon the 5 student feedback you are generalizing it. So what we are taking a subclass of the system. We are not focusing on the entire class. So how you are going to convert a class into subclass, how you are going to decide out of 100 students you have to pick 5 students in what order. So it is again a very complex topic, right? Selecting a subclass from a class is based upon different kinds of system, which we call here as a filtering system. Like a campus placement, if you see, students are sitting in the campus placement, and campus placement people, suppose they want to conduct the interview for only 10 people. So they have their own filtering system. They may put a CGPA, they may put some extracurricular activity, they may put some kind of a specialization in some particular language. So based upon that, they are selecting only 10 students out of a class of, let's say, 100 students, or in an institute if you see 1000 to 10,000 students are there. So filtering system with respect to one person to another person, okay, or one model to another model, it varies, right? So this recommendation system is a subclass of information filtering system. We are not focusing on the entire class. We are focusing on the subclass, and whatsoever the decision we want to make, that decision we are generalizing to the entire class. That is the very first definition. Second one, if you see what we are going to do, we are going to some kind of product or some kind of item to the user. Like if you know that you are purchasing nowadays, due to COVID, people are heading towards the online shopping. Nobody is going out to purchase that thing. So even if the grocery, everything is now made online, right? So if you see, let us consider the Flipkart, especially Flipkart, or you can go for Amazon. So there what happens, suppose you want to purchase a particular product from Flipkart or let's say Amazon. So it is saying that if you purchase another product, or it is saying the people who have purchased this product, they are also buying this particular product. And if you buy, then I will give another 20% discount. Something like that, right? Like bread and butter, there is a combination, right? If you want to purchase bread, then there should be an offer with butter. So the person who is purchasing bread is may not interested in the butter, but by looking into the offer, the person who is buying the thing may be interested in that particular product. Okay, so for recommending such thing, what we have to do, you have to do some kind of analysis. That is nothing but you have to choose the preference. You have to select the preference of each and every individual user. So in this recommendation system, basically we are predict the rating. Suppose if I suggest a particular movie to you, right? Suppose you are interested in a particular type of movie, let it be a romantic movie, right? And I am suggesting a romantic movie to you. Okay, I have observed that all the movies that you have seen in the last 5 years, or let's say last 5 months, they are romantic movie. So recently a new romantic movie is released. So what I did, I have suggested that romantic movie to you. And before suggesting that one, I have predicted what is the rating you are going to give, right? The rating means you can say out of 5 or out of 10 or out of any scale you can say. So first I will predict the rating out of 5. If it is close to 5, because you like the romantic movie, so it will definitely close to 5. So I predicted that this particular movie also may be one of the good movie for you. So I have suggested that movie to you, right? Then after you watch that particular movie, you are again going to rate that particular movie, right? Suppose I have expected that the rating you are going to give, that is 4.3 out of 5. But after you have watched that particular movie, you have given 4, right? You have given the rating is 4. So if you see, it is more or less they are close to each other with an error of 0.3. So our overall objective is to predict the rating, or you can say it is a preference a user would give to a particular item or product. That is the overall objective. So if you see the application of the recommender system, there are numerous applications are there. One of the applications you are using day to day life, that is, let's say, Facebook, right? Each and every person is having a Facebook account. Most of the people are involved in the online social networking websites. So Facebook also, whenever you have if you have a Facebook account, then you may see that there is a people you may know, right? Like for this workshop, Devasys sir is the coordinator, right? So you may contact the sir for various regions, right? So what you did, you have saved his number in your phone, and this number is attached to our Devasys sir's Facebook. So what it is going to do, it is going to suggest that in people you may know Devasys sir's name, right? So that people may click add friend, right? So that is called also a recommendation with respect to this Facebook. And some of the other example, those who are very much familiar with movie, okay, watching movie, they may familiar with Netflix. So you may go for Netflix subscription. Nowadays, when you purchase a smart TV also, you are going to get a Netflix subscription for first 1 year, 1 year, or there is a offer for 2 years, something like that. Similarly, YouTube also, when you want to listen a particular music, you are opening YouTube, you are typing something, you are browsing one particular song, and you are doing your work. So once that song is over, automatically the next song will be played. So how they are going to suggest that that thing based upon your past experience. They have seen that what is the pattern followed by you in the past. Based upon that, they are selecting the next song. Suppose you liked a song, you asked, you have listened or watched that particular song for so many times. Then what happened? Definitely, they are suggesting such music to you, right? That is also one kind of recommendation. Some of the other example is Spotify is there. Similarly, Amazon, Flipkart, we are doing shopping. eBay, we are doing shopping. Levis is also we are doing shopping, right? Or Facebook, Twitter. This is not the complete list. Anything can be the application of the recommendation system where you are suggesting something to the user, right? User may accept your suggestion, user may reject your suggestion, right? But our objective is to suggesting the item, and we'll see what is the accuracy. If the person is accepting it, your accuracy is going to be improved. If the person is rejecting, we'll try to improve our model. So initially the model is not that much fit to give the better accuracy, but gradually when the data is going to be increased and based upon the pattern, definitely the accuracy of the model is going to be increased. Now, if you see the architecture of the recommendation system, so here you can see there are only 4 components in the recommendation system. The first one is a user, that you are focusing on the recommendation system. Suppose I want to know the choice of a particular user. Okay, what kind of item the particular person is interested for, right? So that is the first one. So here the number of users are very huge. So based upon the number of users, you may choose one of the user, and after after suggesting a particular item to that user, you may go for another user. So this at a time we are only focusing on a single user. Second one, we have a database. Why database is required? Database is required to keep what are the items you have purchased in past, right? What is your pattern, what items you are interested for, at least some past data should be available. Okay, that we are maintaining in the database. So if you are not belongs to computer science background, don't worry, assume that a Microsoft Excel file is there. In Microsoft Excel file, you know there are number of rows are there and number of columns are there, right? Suppose each and every row is dedicated to a particular user. Let's say it is U1, user 1. Second one is user 2. Second one is user 3. Similarly, columns are represented as I1 or I2. Okay, I1, I2, I3, and so on. Suppose user 1 is purchasing item 1, then I will ask what is the rating for that particular item. Suppose user 1 is not purchasing I2, so this box is blank, or you can put 0 into that particular box. So that kind of things is available in the database, right? Just like a Microsoft Excel file. That is the second thing. What is the third thing? Third thing is the recommendation system itself. That means you have to design a particular algorithm, or in machine learning terms, we are saying model, right? So you have to design that particular model. So that comes under this recommender system. So whatever process, whatever method, whatever model you want to design, you have to design here. Okay. And by taking these three things, that is the user, a particular user, second one, history of that particular user or past behavior of that user, third, the recommendation system what you have designed, we are going to suggest a set of items, right? If it is a movie domain, I am going to suggest these two movies to you. If it is a music domain, I am going to suggest two different music to you. Okay. If it is, let's say, our educational system, I am going to suggest two different books to you, something like that, right? So this is the fourth component. And the very, very important part, you may collect the data set. Nowadays, people are our UCI repository is there, in which the data sets are available, and that is open source also. Anybody can download the data set. So second part, you can easily. And similarly, first part also you can take, right? First part you can concentrate on a. So one is also there. There is no issue. Third is you have to design a recommendation system that you have to do. That is the most important part. Is the third one. So as if you design this particular system in a more efficient way, or you can say this system is an intelligent one, right? Then definitely its accuracy is going to be improved. And whatever intelligent today, that may not be intelligent tomorrow, right? Because day by day the scenario is changed. So you need to design a improved model over the existing model to closely fit with the current domain. So in order to design the intelligent system, what you have to do, you have to develop some algorithm, right? This algorithm may be a artificial intelligence algorithm, machine learning algorithm, or you can say data science algorithm, or a combination of these three technologies are required to design an intelligent system. Like in machine learning domain, we are talking about the supervised learning, unsupervised learning, semi-supervised learning, reinforcement learning, lot of learning techniques are there that you have to apply in order to suggest this particular item. And make sure that these items closely fit with the interest of this particular user. Otherwise, your model is not good. So that I told you, we have to evaluate the accuracy of the system. If the accuracy is not better, then we have to improve our system. And if you go on processing like this, then maybe after several iteration, your model may perform better. Okay. So this is the overall architecture. A detailed architecture I will tell you in the upcoming slides. The next one is this recommendation system. As I told you, it is not focusing on the online shopping or social networking website. Okay, it may be generalized to any domain. Like if you are interested in the movie domain, so the data whatever you want to collect, you can collect the Netflix data, or you can collect the IMDb data, because whenever we are watching a particular movie, we are typing in the Google the movie name followed by IMDb to know the rating of that particular movie. If the rating is high, then definitely we are thinking that yes, the movie is good. Again, the rating is calculated with a sample size. Maybe if it is a newly released movie, the number of users watch that particular movie is less. Okay, so like that you have to see what is the rating of that particular movie. Similarly, film affinity is one of the example. Movie lens is very popular in this recommendation system. And if you are interested in this domain, you can download the movie lens dataset. And movie lens dataset is available of various size. It is available in GB, it is available in MB. Okay. So if you can, if your system is supporting gigabytes of data, then go for downloading that particular data. If it is not supporting, you are a beginner in this particular field, go for the small size, right? Or the size is MB, that you can go. Similarly, you may also apply this recommendation system into the news domain. News domain means, for example, you are interested in the political news, right? So I will suggest only the political news to you, right? Somebody is interested for the cricket news, then I will suggest only the cricket news. In that domain also you can apply recommender system. Similarly, we have seen music domain like YouTube or any music websites. They are also applying the recommendation system, that is music domain. Another interesting area I just want to mention, like as a teacher, as a student, now Government of India has recently launched the National Education Policy, which we called as NEP. So there are several meetings are conducted in NEP. So in NEP meeting, if you see, there are so many minor courses and so many regular courses are also there, or major courses are there. Somebody may do is a minor degree in the computer science as well, right? So in that case, or if you go for our regular education system also, in the BTech especially third year and fourth year, or in the master's case also first semester and second semester, we have several elective courses. So you have a set of electives. So out of these electives, based upon the teacher's expertise or the faculty member that are available in the institute, their expertise, and based upon the student interest, we are selecting some elective, right? Or we are offering some elective, our students are opting that elective. So there also you can apply the recommendation system. How you can apply? In that domain, you can see the student's grade and student interest in the first 2 years. If third year it is you are suggesting elective courses, in the first year and second year, you have to see what is the student performance in various subjects. So based upon the student performance, you can suggest which elective is best suitable for a particular student. That also you can design for the educational system. If you are interested in the farming domain, right? If you want to go for smart farming system, based upon the different types of situations or seasons or availability of water or the climate, you can suggest a farmer what kind of crops is best suitable for that particular season. That's why I told you, whatsoever domain you have expertise, you can apply in that area the recommendation system, not limited to a particular domain. Now, basically, we are going to address these three questions in the next couple of hours, right? The first question is with respect to the database. First question says that which information do you use to make a recommendation, right? It is asking which information do you use to make a recommendation. So while you are suggesting the some items to the user, all the information that you have collected for a particular user may not be relevant. For example, I will give a very small example. Let us concentrate on our students' attendance sheet. If you see students' attendance list, the first column represents the serial number. Okay, and you know serial number is unique, right? If serial number is unique, you cannot establish the relationship between one serial number with another serial number. Okay, so that is meaningless. Similarly, if you see the second column, that is roll number or registration number. Again, roll number and registration number case, they are also unique, right, for with respect to the student. So we cannot establish the relationship between two different roll number unless it is coded in a proper format. Like if a student is joined in the year of 2020, it is starting with 2020, something like that. If it is like that, then it is okay. Otherwise, you cannot establish the thing. So what I basically want to convince you that if there is a unique personality is there, that is not going to be considered in while you are recommending a particular item. Okay, what we want if there is a item which is the interest of more than one user, right? If there is something which you are interested, where I am also interested, there we are going to design a recommendation system, right? Like if you see in the mobile number case also, mobile number is also unique with respect to the student or with respect to the user. However, you can say these mobile numbers are belongs to X provider. These are belongs to Y provider. Okay. these are belongs to Z provider, then that is a meaning is coming, right? If X, Y, Z you can categorize, then there is some meaning is coming, right? Otherwise you cannot establish the relationship between two different mobile number. So that basically we want to address in the first question. The second question I'll go here, that is how to evaluate the recommendation system. Suppose you have designed a recommendation system, what is the performance measure you will take to evaluate that particular system? Like in the student case, how we are assessing the performance of a student, we are calculating their CGPA, SGPA, extracurricular activity, yoga activity, so many things we are calculating. Based upon that, we are saying the student is belongs to A1 or A or B1B, something like that. The next one, we are going to see the third question, how to implement this recommendation system. Okay, if you have defined or you have developed a particular recommendation system in some language, let you are comfortable in C, C++, or the recent developed language like Python, recent popular language like Python. So in that case, you can choose any particular language to do implement this particular recommendation system. If you are not familiar with these also, that is okay. If you are familiar with Microsoft Excel, that is also sufficient to implement a recommendation system. So at the end of this lecture, I will tell you how you can do the same thing by the help of an Excel sheet. I will share the Excel sheet with Devasys sir. If interested, you can see the code what is written in that particular Excel sheet. So let us discuss one by one question here. Let us go to the first question. The first question is, which information do we use to make recommendation? As I told you, all the information that we have that may not be relevant, like student roll number, student mobile number, student serial number. So they are not useful because we cannot establish the relationship between one student's roll number with another student's roll number, right? Now, let us focus on this database, right? You can see here there is a database. This database contains some information about the user as well as the item. Item means maybe a item may be a book, it may be a movie, it may be a music, it may be anything. So in a generalized term, I am saying it is item. Let us concentrate on, there are 5 movies I am showing here. This is the first movie, this is the second movie, third movie, fourth movie, and fifth movie. These are Hollywood movies, right? So these 5 movies I have taken into consideration. What attributes or characteristics I have in my database? You can see the first movie, genre is the type of movie. It is a drama type movie, right? Second attribute what I am keeping here is directed by. Who directed that particular movie? Third is what is the running time of that movie? That is 175 minutes here. And plot says that a brief history about that particular movie. Similarly, you can see in the last item also, we are showing the genre is romantic. It is a romantic type movie directed by someone. Running time is 195 minutes and plot is there. Okay. So based upon these attributes, you can apply some kind of recommendation. Like whenever you are opening YouTube, there is a filter button. Okay. So what you can do in that filter button? In the filter button, okay, suppose you are interested to watch the movie whose length is less than 10 minutes, that you can select from YouTube. So the videos that are going to come, that is less than 10 minutes. Generally, whenever we want to understand a particular technology which we are not aware of, that lecture we want to see, but the lecture size should not exceed 10 minutes. That kind of filtering you can apply. So there, this running time parameter is going to come. If you are not interested in a long movie like 175 minute, 195 minute, so you can restrict by applying some kind of filtering, right? Or if you are interested in drama type movie, so you can select the type of movie is drama. So all the movies that is going to come, that is drama only. For that purpose, we have specified some of the attributes or features of each and every movie. So that we basically call as a content based information. Later point of time, I'll tell you this is a type of recommendation system. Now you can see in the bottom side, we have several users are here, right? So these users, either they have already seen that particular movie or they are interested to watch that particular movie. Like if you see, this particular user has watched this movie and he rated 2 out of 5. So 2 means the movie is not okay, right? So if you give 3 is average, then 2 is not, the movie is not that much good. Similarly, in each and every user, we are also keeping their properties. That is called as a profile of the user. Like here you are keeping the movie's profile. Here we are maintaining user's profile, right? Like a user's profile may be gender, male or female, or age, a particular age group, or the profession, whether he is a student or he is a professor, he is a journalist, something like that, right? Now we are collecting the feedback between the user and the movies. One side user is there, another side movie is there. Suppose a user watched movie, then I'm collecting the feedback, that is 2 by 5. And this user noted that I have seen that particular movie without rating, okay, or he is about to rate. Like whenever we are purchasing from Flipkart and Amazon, they are also asking for feedback, but sometimes we are not filling the feedback form, okay. So they are giving reminders to us in the several days, right? With a gap of some days, they are going to remind us. So if you concentrate on this particular feedback, the feedback is of two types. One is called as explicit feedback, another is called as implicit feedback. As the name suggests, explicit feedback means you are giving a particular signal, that is we call it as explicit signal. Like you are specifying some rating, 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 5, something like that. Or whenever we are reading a blog, in that blog there is a thumbs up button and thumbs down button. So if you like that particular article, okay, or blog, you are selecting thumbs up button or you are giving thumbs down button. Or whenever we are troubleshooting our system also, it is asking whatever information we have given, whether it is useful or not, helpful or not. So you can say yes or no, where the decision is binary. So there you are giving explicit signal. So that is one type of feedback. There is another type of feedback that is called as implicit feedback. Suppose you are browsing Facebook, okay, you are browsing the Facebook, you are reading the post. At that time, some ad is displaying in the right panel or left panel. You are not interested. You are not interested in these two panel. You are interested in the Facebook, but left panel, right panel, some attractive offer is coming, right? So which force you to visit that particular website. So what we are doing, that we are clicking there to redirect to another website, right? If you see, that is called as your implicit feedback. So where you are clicking something to redirect to some other website, or there is some website called Quora. In Quora, we are typing whether a particular institute is better or not, or whatsoever query you are putting in the Quora, whether a particular brand is okay or not. So from that query also you can analyze something and you can say whether a particular user is interested for that particular query or not. But if a user is not clicking anywhere, a user is not posting anywhere, then obviously we have lack of preference. Generating the preference is very less, right? That is called as your implicit feedback. So here you can take both explicit and feedback, implicit feedback based upon the requirement of your model, and you can access it. Similarly, you can take the demographic information, like there are some products are there which is man oriented. Some products are there that is female oriented or women oriented. Like many websites, they have classified whether you are man or woman, they are asking at beginning only. Then based upon that, they are going to suggest some item. Similarly, there are some products are there which is used in a particular age group, right? Like 0 to 5 years age, there is some products are there. 5 to 6 to 10, there is another product is there. So based upon that also, you can make the classifications of various items into different category, right? And based upon the professions also you can do, right? Okay, based upon the professions also you can do some kind of filtering, right? That's why you can take the demographic information as well. Similarly, you can take the social information also. or you can see in this case, we are concentrating on this particular user. If you see, one user has friendship with another user. Okay, so they are friend to each other. If a particular person is interested in some product, then if Y is friend of X, then Y may be also interested for that particular product. So that may also happen in the case. That's why we are interested for the social informations as well. So by looking into this, we can design a particular recommender system, right? So out of these informations, you have to choose which information is required to build your own model. Okay. The next one, yeah, what should be there if you go for in the technical term? If you say, if you want to take each and every movie, so can anybody confirm my voice is audible or not?
Audible, sir.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir. Audible.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Just a minute, my pointer is not working. Yes. So here you can see, if you go for the technical details, okay, you can see each and every movie can be assigned with the item ID. Okay, let's say item ID is I1, and with respect to this item ID, I am writing who is the what type of that movie, that is genre, who is the director. So each row represents one movie, okay, and their details. So that you can take in the case of item. Similarly, if you go for the rating case, one user is rating a particular movie or particular item out of 5. So that you can do by the writing user ID in one column, item ID in another column, and rating. Like I am writing U1, I1, U1 purchased a item I1, and he is suggesting the item 1 is, let's say, 4 out of 5, something like that. Similarly, whenever you are go for a particular music, right, or songs in the YouTube, you are listening that use music for several times. So that I am mentioning here of number of times. Always the term may not be in out of 5 or may not be in the out of 10, but it may be any number, right? For one case it may be 1000, one case it may be 100 also. That you can record based upon the number of consumption. Consumption means number of times you have listened that particular music. Similarly, if you are interested for the demographic information, you take user ID and their age with respect to their age and professions. You can maintain one column, and you are going to maintain that record to suggest the item. Similarly, social relationship, I am maintaining U1 with another user 2. If U1 and U2 are the very close friend, then I will give a value close to 1. Let's say 0.99. But if there is U1 is not U1 is unknown to, let's say, U3, then let's say the value is 0.00, something like that. So that also you can maintain. That is called a social information by which you can do something. Now come to the second part, that is what are the different types of recommendation systems are there. That is called as types of recommendation system. So this is the one of the category I am discussing. Later point of time I will discuss another category. So before going to this, I will tell you this particular figure where the idea will be more clear. So recommendation system is of two types. One is called as your collaborative filtering system. Another is called as content-based filtering system. So let us understand this particular figure. For example, this is user U1. Okay, this is user U2. So user U1 has purchased a particular item I1. Okay, has purchased a particular item, or has watched a particular movie, or has listened a particular song. You can generalize to anything. And similarly, U2 also purchased another item I2. Assume that user U1 has purchased a book of machine learning from Flipkart. That is item 1, I1. User 2 purchased another book of machine learning that we call as item 2. So there is a similarity between item 1 and item 2 because both are belongs to the course machine learning. Only the book is written by different authors. So by looking into their preference, what we can conclude? We can conclude U1, U2, their taste is same. The meaning of taste is their choice is same, right? They are having some common features. So later point of time, what happened? A new machine learning book is released in the market. Let's say that is I3, and that book is purchased by U1. Okay, U1 purchased I3. Then what happened? Automatically that book is going to be suggested to U2. How they are suggesting? Because based upon their past experience, the model groups the user into a single group. Okay, their taste is same, so they are belongs to the same group. So if one of the member is purchasing one book, then definitely other person may be interested in that particular book. Like whenever a new movie is released, and if one of our friend has watched that particular movie, so while discussing we are asking what about that particular movie, right? If the friend suggests that the movie is very good and you should not watch that movie at home, you have to go to some theater to watch that particular movie, definitely you are going to watch that particular movie. So that type of system is called as collaborative filtering system. Now let us see this term, it will be more clear. Collaborative filtering approach builds a particular model from users' past behavior. How you are suggesting? Because in the past they have purchased the machine learning books, so we assume that their interest is same. That's why we are suggesting a new machine learning book to another user, because the first user is interested in that machine learning book. That is the collaborative filtering system. Now come to second figure, that is called as content based system. Here what happened? U1 has purchased a particular book, let's say I1. Okay, user 1 has purchased one book, that is I1. Excuse me. So that is, let's say, machine learning book. Later point of time, there is another machine learning book is released in the market. Let's say that is I2. Okay. So there is a similarity between these two items. In the previous one, you have seen the similarity between two different users. But here you have seen the similarity between two different items. So I2 is released in the market, which is having a relation with I1 with respect to its content. So that particular item can be suggested to the user. So that is called as your content based system. Now come to its definition. Now it will be clear. So content based approach utilize a series of discrete characteristics of an item. We are not focusing on the user. We are focusing on the characteristics of an item. Okay. And based upon the characteristics of the item, we are going to recommend additional items with similar properties. What is the additional item? The additional item is this one. That is book number 2. We are suggesting to the user. Okay, that's what it is saying. Recommend additional item which has the similar property as the first item. That is called as your content based system. Okay, so you can people may ask generally first question that whether collaborative system is better and content based system, and the very diplomatic answer is both are better and both are not better. That means situation makes which algorithm is better, which algorithm is not better. So that I will tell you with respect to an example. If your input is something, then you may go for collaborative system. If the sub input is not available, you have to go for the content based system. So here I will tell you about three things. One is user's profile. User's profile means the details of the user. Second one is items profile. Third one is user item metrics. Three things. So out of these three things, if two things are available, that is user item metrics and user profile, then you will go for collaborative filtering system. On the other hand, if you have user profile as well as you have item profile, but you don't have the user item metrics, so at that case you have to go for content-based system. So see here, in this particular database, you have ratings. Rating says that user U1 has rated a particular I1 4 out of 5. If that rating matrix is given, or user 1 has listened a particular music for 20 times. So U1, let's say music number is I1, number of times is 50 times. That matrix is given, then go for the collaborative filtering system. See this example, here the idea will be more clear, and raise slides based upon this particular slide. So here you can see I have taken an Excel sheet. In that Excel sheet, I have given 12 different rows and 16 different columns. Okay, and row 2 to row 12 represents one user, that is U1 to U11. So I have given 11 different user. Similarly, in the column side, I have mentioned I1 to I15. So I have concentrate only on 11 user and 15 items for a sake of illustration. But when you go for real implementation, it is too big, right? But if you understand this, you can generalize it to any number of size of the data, right? So what it indicates, suppose U1 has watched a particular movie I1, he rated 5 out of 5. Similarly, U1 has watched movie I2, he rated 5 out of 5. U1 watched similarly I7 movie, okay, he rated 2 out of 5 because that movie is not liked by that particular user. And what this empty space indicates? This empty space indicates the user has not watched that particular movie, or the user has watched that particular movie but not rated that particular movie. Like here, if you see, U1 has not watched the movie number I6, right? So here if you see the entire thing, like this blank one indicates this is referred to U2 and item 10. If you see the corresponding row, it is U2. If you see corresponding column, it is I10. So user U2 has not rated item 10. Okay. If you see this particular item, so it is belongs to U6, okay, and it is belongs to I7. So what you can say, U6 has rated the item I7 4 out of 5, right? So similarly, you can see other things, right? So this is a simple user item rating matrix. Now see this example. Here you can see all the values are in the range of 1 to 5, or you can say 0 to 5, where empty one indicates 0, right? Now see this one. What happened here? Here if you see, we have changed it to +1 and -1. Just like I told you in a blog, the question, the last one is, was this information useful? You have to click thumbs up button or thumbs down button, nothing else. So that is an example of this user item matrix. So if you see here, if you see this particular element which belongs to U2 and I10, user 2 and item number 10, what we can conclude? The user U2 has not rated item number I10. But if you focus on this +1, what it indicates? This +1 belongs to U6 and I6. So that indicates U6 likes the item I6. +1 means that information is useful, or that movie one should watch. Okay, that is a binary one, right? But -1 indicates it is belongs to U2 and I7. So U2 does not like that item number 7, right? So the database is look like this one only. Now you see another type. Here you can see U1 listened a particular music I1 for 15 times. Here we are not calculating out of 5, out of 10, or +1, -1. Here it may be any number. So you can see large numbers are also there, like 51 is here, 55 is here, and 0 indicates user has not listened that particular music. Okay. So this 15 indicates, if you see 15, 15 belongs to U6 as well as I7. So it indicates U6 has listened to item I7 how many times? 15 times. So more times indicates the user is more interested for that particular music that you can do. So these things are coming under what system? Collaborative filtering types of a recommendation system. This is not the content-based system. So what happens in the content-based system? In content-based system, you are given with two things. One is you are given with the items profile. Items profile means if you are concentrate on movie domain, you can see it is given with your genre, what is the type of that movie, who is the director of the movie, what is the running length of that particular movie, and details about that particular movie. That is given to you. On the other hand, it is given as your user's profile. What is the user's details? Like a user is interested for what type of movie, maybe drama movie and romantic movie. So these two are the two different parts that is given to you, right? And user item matrix is missing here. So like you have seen in the previous slide, this is a user item matrix. That matrix is not available. At that case, you can apply the content based recommendation system, right? So let us take a very small example quickly. So let us focus on an e-commerce website like Flipkart or Amazon. And suppose you want to buy smartphone. Okay, you want to buy a smartphone and you are interested in two different features of the smartphone. One is battery, another is display. Okay, so if you see, I have concentrated only on 5 smartphone. So smartphone here we consider as an item, so that we call as a item profile or item picture matrix. So here you can see smartphone 1, if you concentrate here, smartphone 1 is battery is 0.9 out of 1 and display is 0.1, where sum is equal to battery, sum of the value assigned to battery plus display is equal to 1. Smartphone 2 case, battery is excellent, but display is not at all good. Similarly, in the smartphone 4 case, you can see battery is not at all good, but display is excellent. So that is item feature matrix is assigned given to you. Come to the second one, you are also assigned given with a user feature matrix. User feature matrix means what a user is interested for. As we have concentrate here based upon two feature, one is battery and display. So you can say Aman is liking more, he is giving more priority to battery than the display. Okay. But if you see Chandan case, Chandan is giving more preference to display rather than the battery. Okay. So here this matrix is called as your user feature matrix, or we call it as a user profile. So here you can see a couple of statements are written. So based upon the statement recorded by from the user, you can convert this statement to a particular value, which is also a very important topic of artificial intelligence, which we call as a sentiment analysis. So I'm not going through it. Simply you have to see, read the comments, and based upon that you have to convert it into a particular value. So you are assigned with two things. You are given with two things. One is item feature matrix, another is the second one is your user feature matrix. The third one is nothing but the user item matrix. That means in the row we have users, in the column we have smartphones, and entries represents the ratings, right? And these are the ratings. If there is a no rating, it indicates that user has not purchased that particular smartphone, right? So some information we have collected. So when we discuss about the collaborative system, I told you two things is given to you. One is user profile, which we have seen in the previous slide. Second one is user item matrix. This is the matrix. So which one is missing? The missed one is item feature matrix. So if you know 2 out of these 3, then you can get the third one, right? Like in this case, in the collaborative case, we have user item matrix. So we have users profile, then we can also calculate the item profile. For example, here I have considered the feature vector of a particular smartphone S1 is, let's say, X1 and X2, because I don't know what is the profile of a particular item. So I have taken the value X1 and X2. Then I have some ratings is given to you here. So based upon that, I will extract the feature vector of a particular smartphone 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 respectively, one by one. So if you see this 5 is nothing but U1 into S1 transpose is equal to 5, where you know what is U1 and you have assumed the S1 and X2 as a X1 and X2 is equal to 5.0. try to understand. This is the user. This is nothing but the smartphone. Means item picture is equal to 5.0. That you know. And out of these two unknown, you know what is U1. That is user's profile. But you have taken S1 transpose as X1 and X2. Our objective is to calculate the value of X1 and X2. Similarly, you can see here, if you go to U2S1, the value is 4.5. So U2S1 transpose is 4.5. U2S1 transpose is 4.5. Out of this U2, you are aware of U2, okay? Only you have to calculate S1 transpose, because other part also you know that is 4.5. So here it is the calculation. Here it is the user profile I have written. So user profile, you know what is the value in the battery, what is the value with respect to the display. So what I can do, this feature vector I can put here, right? So U1S1 transpose is equal to 5. So I can write 0.9, 0.10. In the previous slide, I have assumed that this is X1, X2 is the feature vector for a particular item. Transpose is equal to 5. So if you calculate it, you are going to get 0.9 X1 plus 0.10 X2 is equal to 5.0. So this is your equation number 1, right? But equation 1 has 2 unknown. So you require at least 2 equations to calculate the value of this unknown, right? And in the second case also, you have seen U2S1 transpose is 4.5. So U2 is nothing but 0.80 and 0.20. S1 is, you have taken X1 and X2 is equal to 4.5. So if you solve it, you are going to get 0.80 X1 plus 0.20 X2 plus equal to 4.5. So if you solve these two equations, you are going to get X1 value is 5.5, X2 value is 0.5, which is nothing but the feature vector of smartphone S1. So with the help of your user item matrix and user profile, you can generate the item profile. So once you generate the smartphone 1 feature, you can also calculate smartphone 2 feature, smartphone 3 feature, 4 and 5 respectively. So when you want to recommend a particular smartphone to a particular user, so you can calculate like this. Like our first user is Aman. So if anybody will ask you which smartphone out of these 5 you are going to suggest to Aman, so you will calculate maximum of U1 S1 transpose, U1 S2 transpose, U1 S3 transpose, U1 S4 transpose, U1 S5 transpose. So as you know the user profile and your item profile, you can calculate this thing. Okay. So out of these items, you can see the first smartphone is we got 5. Second smartphone we got 4.99. Third smartphone 4.95. Fourth smartphone 1. Fifth smartphone 2.9. So if you order this one, this order is going to come S1, S2, S3, S5 and S4, because S5 value is greater than S4. So if anybody will ask you, suggest 2 smartphone to Aman, so you can pick S1 and S2. Suggest 3 smartphones, then S3. So top end recommendation you can generate out of this particular sequence. So in this manner, the collaborative filtering works. Now come to the second one, that is called as your content-based system. In content-based system, the user item matrix is missing. We are given with 2 things, that is user's profile, another is item profile. Like here you can see, this is called as your item profile, this is called as your user profile. So you know in the previous example we have seen U1 S1 transpose is equal to what? Is equal to a particular rating. So here you know the user profile and smartphone S1's profile. So you can easily get this particular rating by multiplying the user profile with the smartphone 1 profile. So if you proceed this one, you are going to get the value is 0.82, 0.9, 0.89, 0.1 and 0.18 respectively. Okay. So in this case, if you see smartphone 2 is having the highest value, that is 0.9. Smartphone 3 is the second highest value, that is 0.89. Smartphone 1 is the third one, that is 0.82, and followed by smartphone 5 and smartphone 4. So if you want to suggest 3 smartphones to a particular user, you will choose S2, S3, S1. Okay, that is called as top N recommendation system where N is equal to 3. So in this manner, you can apply the collaborative filtering system and content-based system to design a particular recommendation system. But you have to see that whether user profile or item profile or user item matrix is given to you or not. Now let us see what kind of problems may happen with respect to this type of recommendation system. The one problem I want to discuss here, that is called as a cold start problem. For example, you can see we have 11 number of users, we have 15 number of items. Assume that we have 11 number of users, 15 number of items. Suppose a new user is registering. Suppose a particular person don't have Flipkart account or Amazon account. The person is now going to create its own profile in Flipkart and Amazon. So the question arises, when a new user is added to a recommendation system, which item is going to be suggested to that particular item, that particular user? Which item you are going to suggest to that particular user? Okay, that is a question mark, because you don't have the user's past behavior. We don't have user's past behavior. That's why suggesting a particular type item to that particular user is very difficult. This problem is called as a cold start problem with respect to the new user, right? Somebody may suggest that, let's say, you can see in this particular sheet, if you see, let's say I7 is purchased by, let's say, 6 different users, and assume that this is the item purchased by 6 users, and 6 is the highest among all, right? Maximum number of users purchase this particular item irrespective of the rating. So you can say that I am going to suggest that I7 to the user number 12. So you can suggest, but that may not be the choice of the user number 12, right? Because its past behavior is absent here. So it is not possible to suggest an appropriate product to that particular user. Similarly, you can go for the cold start problem with respect to a new item. Assume that Flipkart and Amazon launched a new item. When they launched a new item, then that item don't have any past history, right, in the collaborative filtering system. So that item, to whom we want to suggest, that is also a question mark. That we call as the new item problem, cold start problem with respect to the new item. So suggesting I6 to an appropriate user is not possible, which we call as this new item is not recommended to any user, because this here the item profile is absent. If item profile is there, then you can say that yes, item 6 is related to item number 7, and item 7 is purchased by 6 different users. So you can suggest item 16 to item 16 to user number 1, user number 2, user number 4, user number 5, user number 6, and user number 11 respectively. You can suggest like that. So this is the main problem with respect to the collaborative filtering system. So now we see how we are going to solve this problem. Okay, or you can ask, if I am going to use the content-based system, whether the same problem is going to happen or not. So let us go for the second one, that is called as content-based system. So in the content-based system, what we have? We have users profile, we have items profiles. The user item matrix is not there. So here you can see we have items profile, like there is a movie Godfather. It is a type of crime movie. It is directed by Coppola, and everything, running time, plot, everything is there, right? And I have also users profile, like U1 likes terror type of movie, U2 like romantic movie, like that users profile is there. So when a user is registering with a particular website, I am asking that user what type of movie you are liking, you are going to watch. So the user is suggesting crime type movie. Okay. So you know that Godfather movie is belongs to the crime category. So you can suggest the Godfather movie to this user. Or if you have more movies with respect to this crime category, then out of this particular movie, the movie which is having more rating, that you can suggest to this particular user. Okay, so that the cold start problem with respect to a new user is not going to happen in the case of content based system. So in the problem associated with collaborative system is going to be resolved in the content based system. Cold start problem is not going to happen in the case of content based system. Okay, so this solves our first question, that is which information is important for us. Let us go for our second question very quickly. The second question what I want to address, how you are going to evaluate a recommendation system. And third question is how you are going to implement a particular recommendation system. So whenever there is an evaluation criteria is coming, so if you look into a particular student, how we are evaluating? We are evaluating a student's performance using CGPA, SGPA, extracurricular activity, or with respect to some other measure. So similarly, here the information part is over. Okay, and second part I am going to come in after this particular question. Next part is how you are going to suggest, how you are going to evaluate the recommendation system, how you are going to know whatsoever recommendation system you have designed, whether it is performing well or not. That is the question. So these are the performance measures through which you can evaluate your recommendation system, or you can evaluate your model. The first one is called as your accuracy. So what accuracy says? Accuracy addresses the question that do I like what the recommendation system recommends me? If a recommendation system is suggesting a particular movie or particular product, do I like that particular item? If yes, accuracy will improve. If no, accuracy will decrease. And our objective is to maximize the accuracy. The second evaluation parameter, that is called as a diversity. Diversity addresses the question, does the recommendation system offers me different kind of item? Suppose I told you the item may be suggested with respect to the age group, the item may be suggested with respect to your gender, the item may be suggested with respect to your profession. So if it is suggesting in one domain, you may be interested, first few items you may be interested, but you have to look into other items as well. So if different kinds of items can be suggested by the recommendation system, then the diversity factor is satisfied. Third one, that is trust. Has the recommendation system the ability to convince me about their recommendation system? Like you are putting something into your cart, e-cart, right? Then later a point of time, the provider is also watching that these many users are in their cart, they have this particular item, but they are not purchasing it. Okay, so suddenly they will send a message, some kind of message, that today the price is decreased by 5%, so you can purchase it. So by looking into this kind of offers, the user may purchase a particular item. So that is nothing but convincing factor, just like we call that one in our market case bargaining. Okay, you are, if item is if the cost of an item is 100 rupees, you are saying that if you give in 80 rupees, then only I'll purchase it. So that is nothing but the recommendation system is convincing you about that particular recommendation. The last one is called as serendipity. Serendipity says that how surprising are the recommendations. Sometimes they are suggesting a particular item, like Flipkart and Amazon, they are sending some coupons by saying that this particular month is your birth month, so you can use this particular coupon code and get 100% in the cloth category, right? So such type of news, or with respect to some emerging offers, right, or with respect to the new user, or if a user is not purchasing an item from the last 5 months, who had purchased the item very frequently, they are giving some kind of offers to attract the particular user to purchase the item. So that is going to address the question of serendipity. So through these parameters, you can evaluate the recommendation system. Some other parameters are also there. I am going to discuss that parameter after discussing another types of recommendation system. Now, if you compare this diagram with the previous diagram, in the first diagram I told you there are 4 components. One is user, second one is database, third one is your recommendation system, fourth one is your set of items. So what happened? For example, all the information is not important in whatever information available in the database. So what happened? I have applied a filtering approach here. So after applying a filtering approach in the database, I got for this particular user, this may be one of the movie which we can suggest to this particular user. Or I have extracted a particular movie from the database to check whether this particular movie is liked by this particular user or not. So I am comparing this user with this particular movie. While I am comparing with the interest of this user, I got the value 4.5 out of 5. So that is a good value. Just I am predicting the rating. I am not suggesting now. The next one is I picked another movie. Okay. Then I have checked with the interest of this user and I got the score is 2.3. Similarly, I will go for another movie. I got the score value is 4.7. Like that with respect to a couple of movies, or as I told you, top N recommendation, you selected 10 movies out of a lot of movies, and these 10 movies you have compared with the interest of a particular user. So after comparing with all the movies, you have seen these 2 movies secured more than 4.5 or greater than equal to 4.5. So you will suggest is a part of a top 2 recommendation if you are looking for, then you can suggest these 2 movies to this particular user. Okay. Now, what we did, if you compare the first diagram with this diagram, we have used a filtering approach here to extract a particular movie from the database. And here we have used a matching technique to compare the choice of a user with respect to a movie. And once you calculate the score, okay, score of the movies, okay, score of different movies with respect to the interest of this user, I am using another filtering approach to find the movies with the highest score. Like these 2 movies are having the score greater than 4.5, greater than equal to 4.5. So if you see the architecture of this particular recommendation system, and if you compare with the previous one, in the very beginning slide I told you, we are using here 2 different filter and 1 matching block. So this is called as your recommended system. Right? Now you can compare and can say there are 4 components. One is recommendation system. Second is a individual user we are concentrating. Third is your database. Fourth one is your set of items. So 4 different blocks are there, and this particular block is called as a recommendation system, in which we had 2 filters. To extract the movie from database, 1 filter is required. In order to shortlist a 2-3 movies or top N movies out of a set of movies, we require another filter and we require a matching process. So based upon that, the architecture is designed. Now, if you see another types of recommendation system that I want to discuss here, that is, you can see the recommendation system is further divided into 2 parts. One is called as memory based system, another is called as model based system. So it may be memory based collaborative filtering system, or it may be memory based content based system, or it may be model based collaborative filtering system or model based content based system. So it's a very short, we have very short time, so I'll tell you very brief about this particular thing. So in the memory based system, you are given with a matrix which we call as a user item matrix. So through this user item matrix, you have to build a particular model, right? So you can calculate the similarity between 2 different items, or you can calculate the similarity between 2 users, or you can take both factor to find or to suggest the different items to the user. So just like it is a referral process. But in the model based, we are going to design a particular model. That model is going to generate the recommendations. So once you build a particular particular model, the model is going to suggest what is your recommendation. No need to depend upon this user item matrix. But if you go for model based system, we consider a method is model based, or if you have designed a particular method and you are claiming that particular method is model based, if whatsoever new information is there, if the new information from any user outdates the old model, then we call that model as a model based system. So let us quickly see, these are these 4 type of system. First we are going to discuss, one is called as memory based and collaborative filtering system. So see this particular rating matrix. Here we have taken the same example, 11 users and 15 different items. Suppose I am now concentrating on user number 3, U3, okay, and I want to predict I want to suggest a particular item for U3. So in this case, the system predicts the user U3. The user U3 will like that particular item I3. Why? Because the taste of U3 is same as the taste of U1 and U2. Also same as your U10. Right? You can see the items purchased by U1, U2, U3 and U10. They are more or less same. So whatsoever item they have purchased, if a particular user out of them has not purchased an item, like U3 has not purchased I3 as well as I7, U10 also not purchased I7. So if you are concentrating U3, it is I3 and I7. So I3, I7 may be purchased by the user U3. So out of I3 and I7, if you see the rating wise I3 is much greater than I7. So you can suggest that particular item to user number 3. So that type of recommendation is called as memory based collaborative filtering system. Come to the second one, that is called as collaborative filtering, but it is model based. So in the model based system, what happens? You are going to convert the database into a model database. So here you can see in the database you have user item matrix. You have to convert the user item matrix which is there in the database to a model database. That means you are going to generate everything as a feature. Like here you can see we have user ID, we have item ID. Each and every user ID and item ID is having some feature. Let's say we have k number of features. How you are going to convert this DB to model DB? Through the learner. Okay. So once you convert into a set of feature, so one of the popular technique used in this model-based system, that is called as matrix factorization. So you may heard about the matrix factorization technique in mathematics. That technique we are applying here. So once you generate the feature, for example, I have generated 3 features as 0.95, 0.02, 0.02 respectively for a particular user. Similarly, I have generated item ID also. For a particular item also, we have generated few features, that is 0.87, 0.50, 0.50 respectively. So now what we did, we are applying the matching technique here. What is the matching technique? With respect to the feature of a particular user, we are multiplying the respective feature of the item. That means 0.95 is going to multiply with 0.87, 0.02 is going to multiply with 0.50, 0.02 is going to multiply with 0.50. So I am going to get the value is 0.86. Okay. So in this manner, I am going to suggest the item to the user. Now, this is the model based system. You can see instead of the database, we have model database. So this is the architecture of a model based collaborative filtering system. Now come to the third system, okay, that is called as a collaborative filtering but memory based. Like some news article, come to a news recommender system. You have collected a particular news. So this is a news clip, okay. In the news clip, I want to know the popularity of the keywords, or I want to find the word that is repeated more frequently, right? For example, in this news article, if you see, World Bank is repeated one time, GDP, this is GDP, that is gross domestic product, is repeated, let's say repeated 5 times. Similarly, I will find the words that are repeated more times. And I am going to generate a particular matrix like this. Like here you can see, here I am in the row wise, I am concentrating the item. Item 1 is nothing but the news article. I1 is a news article. I2 is a news article. I3 is another news article, and so on. In the column wise, I am taking one word. Okay, and I am going to fill this matrix by saying that in I1 item I1 or news article I1, goal word is repeated 4 times, RM word is repeated 4 times, FCB word is repeated 3 times, and so on, like that, right? So once you generate a matrix like this, you can see I1, I2, I3 news articles, they are more close to each other. So if a particular user has seen that particular news I1 and I2, you can suggest I3 to that particular user, because I3 news article is more or less same as I1 and I2. So that type of recommendation system is called as memory based, but it is a collaborative filtering system, because in this case the user item matrix is not there. So don't take this as a user item matrix. It is a item to a word matrix. Then the next one is okay. This is one of the example. Here you can see, suppose I3 is there, the system is predicting that the user U will like the item I3 if the user U has seen I1 and I2, because I1 and I2 has the same taste as I3. Okay, last one is called as the model based system. In the model based system, what happened? We have to take the model DB instead of DB, and we are generating the features. And by these features, once you generate these features, okay, in the database you may have item, you may have various terms and number of times, but in the model DB you have to convert it into some features. In the DB data, in the DB you may have different item word matrix. Okay, you have item word matrix, but we are not interested for this in the model based system. In the model based system, we are interested for different type of features. So once you extract these features by applying the factorization technique, then what you can do? You can multiply the respective feature of the user and the item in order to calculate the score. So for this case, you can see user 3 I3 is there. So user 3 with respect to the item 3, I will calculate. There are 3 features. So I am multiplying feature of feature 1 of U3 with the feature 1 of item 3. So 0.95 into 0.87, 0.02 into 0.50, 0.02 into 0.50. The score is going to be generated. In this case, you have to follow in the feature. Okay, rather than taking the item to word matrix or user to item matrix, you have to concentrate on the various features. Now, how we are going to evaluate? Although I told you about various evaluation parameters like accuracy, okay, serendipity, okay, and we have seen about the reliability, which comes under reliability and explaining recommendation. That is also we have seen, and various other parameters. Here we are going to see some of the other parameters. So what we did here, in order to calculate the accuracy of the recommendation system, we divided the database into 2 parts. One is training, another is testing. So obviously training is having more records in comparison to testing. Now the recommendation system is going to suggest a particular item to me, right, as a user, and I will see whether that particular item is liked by a user or not. So I have created a confusion matrix. So in this confusion matrix, I have taken recommendation. The recommendation is yes or no. Whether the recommendation system is suggesting a particular item or not, that makes it yes. Or if it is not suggesting, that is no. On the other hand, I have taken, does the user like that particular item, whether it is yes or no. Now come to the first case. So here you can see the recommendation system is suggesting a particular movie. Means in the recommendation case, it is yes, but user is not liking that particular movie. Means user case, it is no. So such cases are called as your false positive, or that is called as your type 1 error. Okay. Second one, you can see here, recommendation system is not suggesting this particular movie, but user like that particular movie. So user like that particular movie, that is yes, but recommendation system has not suggested that particular movie. So that type of case is called a false negative case, or that is called as type 2 error. And next case is the best case, that is nothing but recommendation system has suggested a particular item, okay, and you have also watched that particular movie, then that is called as a true positive. Recommendation system suggested and you have also seen that particular movie or purchased that movie, that is true positive. And the last one, that is called as true negative. True negative is nothing but recommendation system has not suggested that item and user is also not interested in that particular item. So once you calculate this false positive and false negative, true positive and true negative, you can calculate the precision, recall and F score of a particular model. How to calculate precision? Precision is nothing but true positive divided by true positive plus false positive. So if you see the denominator part, true positive, false positive means what? True positive and false positive means the cases in which the recommendation system has suggested the item. Whether the user will follow that or not, that is different thing. But denominator indicates whether recommendation system has suggested that particular item irrespective of the user's choice. Now come to the second one, that is called recall. Recall is nothing but true positive divided by true positive plus false negative. So here we are using modulus to indicate number of true positive cases, number of false negative cases. So if you see the denominator of a recall, it is nothing but true positive plus false negative. So it is nothing but true positive plus false negative, in which case, in this case, the user is like that particular item irrespective of recommendation system has suggested it or not suggested it. Right? So if you see the competing factor between the precision and recall, so there is a trade-off. Sometimes you can build a particular model where precision is high but recall is not at all good, or precision is not good, recall is good. So there is always a trade-off between precision and recall, like our time-space trade-off. So in order to compensate this thing, we have the third parameter, that is F score. So once you calculate the precision and recall, you can take 2 into precision into recall divided by precision plus recall, which is going to return you the F score value. If your F score value is better in comparison to the existing model's F score value, so definitely your recommendation system is performing well. So in this way, you can suggest different, you can calculate the accuracy of the system. Now I'll tell you another parameter, that is called mean absolute error. So in error, whether it is a mean absolute error or it is a root mean square error, our objective is to minimize the error. Error minimization is nothing but what is your predicted rating, and if there is a very less graph with the actual rating, then the error will be minimized. Like your model suggested that today there is a rain and actually there is a rain today, then you can say accuracy is going to be improved because the error is less. See here, recommendation system is predicting the user is going to give 4.5 out of 5, but user is giving only 4 out of 5. So what is the error? That is 4.5 minus 4 modulus is equal to 0.5. So why you are putting modulus? If it is 4, it is 4.5, the value will be negative. For that purpose, we are taking modulus. So we are going to get 0.5. So that is nothing but mean absolute error. But when you go for root mean square error, what you are going to take? Instead of taking modulus, we are taking square. So you know any square of any number is a positive number. So no need of this modulus, right? But as you are doing square, once the calculation is done, again you have to calculate the root over of that particular values. So that will give you your root mean square error. And if the values are close to 0, then definitely your model is performing better. Now, quickly, let us see in the next 10 minutes, we'll conduct a particular activity. Okay. So this is the activity. So you are given with 11 users data with 15 items, you have to design the recommendation system in phase 1. In the phase 2, you have to evaluate the recommendation system. So I'll tell you this small activity. I'll share the Excel sheet also. You can see how it is recommending. So you know that your database contains these 11 users and 15 different items. As user item matrix is given to you, this belongs to the collaborative filtering system. It is not a content based system. Now here we want to build a particular model. The model is going to suggest the item to the user. That's why it is belongs to the model based system, not the memory based system. And in the model based system, what we require? We require model DB instead of the database. So we have to convert the DB into model DB through a learner. Okay. Now the model is suggesting for item I1, model I1 to I15, we have to take some value. These are nothing but this value is suggested by that particular model. How it suggested these values? See this, see here. I have concentrate on a particular item. I have seen U1, U2, and U6 and U11. U11, these 4 user has purchased item I1. So I have built a particular model by concentrate on the average measure. Average says that how many users has purchased the item and what is the score given by these users. So that is nothing but 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1. So 3 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1 is nothing but 10 divided by number of users is 4. So 10 divided by 4 is nothing but 2.50. So my model is based upon the average measure. Similarly, if I calculate for I3, it is nothing but 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 2 divided by 4 because 4 users has purchased I3. So 5 plus 4 is 9 plus 4 is 13 plus 2, 15 divided by 4. So you are going to get 3.75. Similarly, you can calculate the average of a different user. Sorry, average of a different item with respect to the user. So these are the values you are going to get, what I have written in this particular slide, right? So once you get this average value, what you are going to do? So this is the value that is available in the database. This is the value we have in the database. And this blank one indicates that the user has not purchased that particular item. So the average value I am going to put in these blank spaces. Like you know that in the first item case, the average we got is 2.5. So 2.5 I have to fill in these 3 space and these 4 space. Similarly, I3 case we have calculated 3.75. So these blank spaces are filled with 3.75, right? So once you fill this one, which is represented in the second table. So if I tell you, suggest the item for U6. So U6 has not purchased these items where ratings are written here. So out of these ratings, you know, these ratings are close to 5. Okay. Or if you can put a threshold of 4.5, then you can say these values are greater than 4. So you are going to suggest item number 5, item number 13, and item number 14 to user number 6 by using a very simple model, that is average. So this is called as your designing the recommendation system. The phase 1 is now over. Now let us see about the evaluating the recommendation system. Okay. So in order to evaluate the recommendation system, you know, in machine learning, you have to divide into two parts. One is testing data set, another is called training data set. Okay. And you know that in the testing data set, whatsoever the outcome is going to come, that is known to you. The class level is known to you, right? In the supervised learning case, that is known to you. So I have randomly selected some items and that I have removed from this original table and I make that table as the testing data set. Okay, and I will ask my model to suggest the rating for these boxes. Okay, these colored boxes. And I am going to compare whatever the value is suggested by the recommendation system and what is the actual value in order to calculate the mean absolute error, root mean square error, and later you can calculate precision recall and F score. So see here, these values are now removed. You can see U1, I2 and U2, I3 is not here. U1, I2, U2, I3 is not here, right? Similarly, other values also I have removed. So this is your testing data set. These colored boxes are called as your testing data set, and this is called as your training data set, right? So now I have given this training data set to my model. So what my model is going to suggest me, my model is going to calculate the average measure. So it is going to calculate 3 plus 4 plus 2. That is nothing but 9. 9 divided by, that is 3. If you remember, previously it is 2.5. We have removed one rating here. That's why it is coming 3. Similarly, for I2 case, you can calculate 4 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1. So it is coming 11 by 2, 11 by 4, that is nothing but 2.75. So that is going to be going to be the predicted rating. Now, these are the elements that you have removed for the testing data set, right? And these are the values are predicted by your model. Now we are going to check whether the model case we are predicting the correct thing or not, or how accurate we are. We are going to calculate. See here, this is called as your actual rating. This is called as your actual rating, and this is called as your predicted rating. Now I want to calculate the difference between the predicted rating and actual rating. Like here, your actual rating is 4, but system is predicting 2.75. Actual rating is 4, system is predicting 3.67. So in order to calculate mean absolute error, you have to calculate 4 minus 2.75 modulus, 4 minus 3.67 modulus, 5 minus 5 modulus, and so on. Total values you have here 12. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So divided by 12, I got MAE is 1.18. So if the value MAE is in the existing model is more than 1.18, then definitely your model is better. But in this case, you are getting high MAE because you have taken a very simple model, that is the average measure or mean measure, right? You can also calculate RMSE. In the RMSE, what you have to do? Instead of calculating the modulus, you can take the square. So in this case, you can see 4 minus 2.75 square plus 4 minus 3.67 square plus 5 minus 5 square divided by 12. Like that, you can calculate divided by 12 and square root. So you are going to get 1.67. And these values should be as close to 0. That should be a good model, right? So that in that manner, you can calculate MAE and RMS. Now we'll see our third measure, that is called as a precision recall. Third and fourth measure, there is precision recall. And once you know the precision recall, you can calculate the F1 score. So in order to calculate the precision, what you have to calculate? This is, I told you, this is your actual rating. Okay, this is your actual rating, and this is your predicted rating. Okay, and you have to calculate the precision, right? So in order to calculate the precision, you have to see that out of the predicted rating, total rating you have predicted is 12. 12 number of ratings you have predicted. Out of these 12 ratings, how many ratings are greater than equal to 4? So you can see only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 7 values are greater than 4, but these values are not greater than 4. Okay, so this is going to define your denominator. The denominator is now 7. You go to the corresponding position in the actual rating and you see how many actual ratings are greater than 4. So only 6 ratings are greater than 4, but 1 rating is not less than 4. So the numerator is 6. So you can calculate the precision is equal to 0.86. So in this case, the recommendation system is suggestion is yes, right? But user may like that item, user may not like that item. Similarly, you can calculate the recall. In order to calculate the recall, this is your actual rating, right? And this is your predicted rating. So you have to see that how many actual rating, okay, is greater than 4. So out of 12 rating, you can see these are the values that is greater than 4. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is going to define your denominator. You go to the corresponding position in the predicted rating and see how many values are greater than 4. So you can see only these values are greater than 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is going to define your numerator. So you are going to get the recall is 0.67. And once you determine this precision and recall, you can calculate F score, because F score is nothing but 2 into precision into recall divided by precision plus recall, right? So this is a small activity. I'll share the Microsoft Excel file. Those who are interested, they can go through it. Just I'll show that file. So this is the file. So I have taken the same data here. Just I have taken the data, right? And I have calculated the average. And you know, in order to calculate the average, there is a predefined syntax is there, right? Predefined command is there. You have to write formula is there. You have to use equal to average B3 to B13. B3 is nothing but this column, right? This column to this column. So you are going to get average. Now what you are going to do? Those positions are empty. In that position, you are going to put this average value, right? So here you can see I have written the command. If that value is greater than 0, then blank. If the value is not greater than 0, then you have to put the average value. So I got the average value here, right? Now, once you get the average value, what you do, you have to take some data as training data. So I have put that data as a cross, okay? And that data I am considered as a testing data. And those data are here, that is called as your training data. Now, you can see our model predicts through I have written if the value is cross, right? Then you have to take the average rating. Otherwise, you have to put the blank. So you got this value is the predicted value. Once you get this predicted value, you can calculate. You know the actual value. You can calculate the RME, RMSE, or you can calculate the ME. You can calculate the precision and recall, right? So no need of any programming language to design the recommendation system. If you know well how to use Microsoft Excel, that is also sufficient to work in this particular domain. So this is all from my side. The conclusion is that it is a very powerful tool for addressing the portion of the information overload phenomenon from the internet, right? So day by day, the model is you have to revise based upon the data you are receiving, right? Because whenever you are concentrating a particular data, the data is also generated at that particular time. So you have to deal with that particular data. And obvious future research is required. That's why I told you whatever model you have designed in the machine learning for today, that may be outdated tomorrow. So you have to regularly revise your things to provide a better recommendation to the users. It is not limited to a particular domain. You can go for any domain to do it. Like in the now the COVID-19 pandemic is going to end. In the medical information system also, you can apply it where it is going to suggest a particular user based upon a particular disease, which hospital is the best hospital. Where based upon the equipment of a particular hospital, it is going to suggest you have to go to this particular hospital if this is your symptom, right? Or this kind of operation is required to a particular user. Then this is the intended hospital. So you can apply to your respective domain. So these are the references. So thank you everyone. So if you have any questions, you can ask now.
Good evening, sir. This is me, Bhuneshwari from NMIT Bangalore. Sir, I have a few queries related to this. Sir, you told we will be suggesting top N items for the recommending. Sir, which value will be optimal? Like we will be having so many, like 10 number of items will be having a best score. So which, yeah, can you, the top N, what is
Once
the
you
optimal value of N?
Optimal value of N is NP complete. And the model value how many items you are going to suggest. For example, you want to suggest only 2 different computer or laptop to a particular user. You can set the N value as 2, but there is no optimal value of N.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
sir.
because it is an NP complete problem. Finding N value is not important in this case also, and it is determining is also very difficult.
Okay, sir. Sir, in few papers I read, for testing and training,
Yeah,
some people have used the 70-30 ratio, and some people
yeah,
have used 80-20 ratio. So, how they are
yeah.
determining 80-20 and 70-30, sir?
Based upon the expert experience and based upon the model, people have suggested that you have to take 70:30 or 80:20, but there is nothing like that. Only a simple thing I can tell you, training is more than the testing and it should be more than 70%. So it varies with respect to the model. In your model, you have to only suggest what is the partition you have to make, whether it is 75:25 or 70:30 or 80:20. But most of the research paper, based upon their simulation result, they suggested that the value should be taken as 80:20 or 70:30. But there is no
Sir.
means you can say it is not going to work for all types of model.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Last question, sir. Sir, in
Yeah.
evaluation metrics, in addition to this precision, recall, and F measure, you told
Yeah.
RMSC and one more thing, no? So whether it is
RMSC and MA.
mandatory, yeah, whether it is mandatory to go for evaluating both the metrics, calculating error
Yes.
as well as this precision, recall, and F score, or
Yes.
either
If you calculate, yeah. If you calculate F1 score, as you have seen in the F1 score, the formula of
okay,
F1 score contain the precision and recall. So in order to
okay,
calculate F score, you require precision and recall, right?
okay.
And
And
in order to
next one,
calculate
sir.
the error, you can
Yes.
in the calculating the error, we have two things. One is MAE, another is RMSE. In
Yeah.
many research paper, those people who are working in this domain, they suggested that RMSE is a better measure than the MAE. But you can
Okay.
check with both the parameter. There is no problem because once you design a particular model, these are only a simple formula. In computer science term, I can say you have to write a for loop to get the result.
Okay,
So
sir.
no
Thank
need
you
to
so
worry
much,
about
sir.
this thing.
Yeah, it's a very
Yeah,
informative session, sir. Sir, it would be very helpful if you send the recording to all the
yeah.
participants. It would be very helpful.
I have already said my PPT to you, and you can
Okay,
also note
recording
down my
session.
email ID. Recording
Yeah, sir.
Devasys sir will share at the end of the
Yeah,
workshop. Sir will share. So
yeah,
if you
sir.
need any further thing, you may contact my email ID or in mobile number.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Any other question?
Thank you so much, sir, for the inspirational address. This turned out to be an amazing and quite important discussion for the machine learning enthusiasts to make progress accordingly. I hope the presentation is clearly understandable to all. Still, I urge the participants to share their doubts in the chat box if they have any. We still got some time, so I think sir can clear one or two doubts. Otherwise, if not now, you can still reach sir through the handles he shared in the beginning. As I said, you can reach him through the mail. Do we have any more questions? Okay. I think we are done. Accept our sincere gratitude, sir. We really appreciate your dedication in making this crucial topic so much easygoing. It was really flawless. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you, Arpita, madam.
Yes. Now, the second day of this FTP has come to an end. The attendance link has been shared in the chat box, I guess. Yes. I request all the participants to please fill the attendance form. We are going to end this session soon. Lastly, I'd like to thank all of our speakers for the graceful discussions regarding their respective topics in the exact way our participants needed to hear. I'm also thankful to our audience for the profound patience and enthusiasm. Thanks to all of you for winding it up with a great success. That's all for now. Tomorrow, The link has been shared to all of you through the mail. Also, we will update it in the WhatsApp group. Don't be late, join on time, and please be cooperative. See you tomorrow. Thank you and have a great day.